Here we go. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods, and today, I tell you what, people, I could have used an extra 5 or 10 minutes, but you know what? The show will go on regardless of Bear's state of readiness or not. Yes, indeed. So, glad to have everybody here with all of you. We're going to do a little bit of an early show. We normally do it usually about 8 o'clock or so, but you know what? Bear has a hockey game on tonight. A very important hockey game indeed. So, do it a little bit early here today. You know what? I tell you what, people, we could. A number of different shows out there might spend a little bit of time doing the gibber, and of course, also the jabber out there. But dang it, Jiminy Cricket in the middle of the day. Yes, indeed. I tell you what, I got a freaking hockey game to watch tonight. But glad to have Jiminy with us here. But you know what, people? Enough of this. Enough of this gibbering and jabbering. Let's go ahead, get right on into it. Hopefully, OBS will stay with me here. Beer is starting to call it OBS here. So let's go ahead, click on the thing. Hopefully this works. Hopefully it works, people. There we go. Oh, thank God. I tell you what. You know, sometimes you never know with OBS out there. All right, we actually had a story here coming from the other day. Bear kind of tossed it up. Okay, does Bear talk about it or not here? I tell you what, Bear actually has been kind of on a little bit of a hiatus as far as comics gate's gone. You know, sometimes you've got to take a little time out there, go out there, maybe into the wilderness, along the trail out there, as it were. So Bear actually has been doing a little bit of the Oregon Trail out there, the new Oregon Trail game. So completely has missed what is going on in Comicsgate and Comics Group related stuff here, but let's go ahead and get right on into it here. Enough of the jibber jabber, says Jiminy. Enough indeed. Yes, indeed. OBS indeed. It works sometimes, it doesn't work the other times. Sometimes Bear can put it onto his iPad and it works. Sometimes it just completely crashes. But enough of bears. First world problems here. Let's go ahead. It's bounding into comics, and who is it? Spencer Basuli, however you pronounce the name. I am sorry, Mr. Spencer. I tell you what, two very faces made for radio there. Faces made, much like Bear's face, made for radio instead of the TV. Let's see, it is a Marvel and IDW comic artist Tess Fowler accuses Overmind creator JDA, that'd be a John Delarose, of being a quote denying sympathizer. Yes, indeed. So go ahead and get right on. Bear is just going to present this as it is and maybe comment on it at the very end here. So hold on to your pants out there. Yes, indeed. I suppose I will. If you have a belt on, you'll need to hold on to it. But that's all right. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it here. Let's see. In response to Abounding Into Comics' recent reporting on her claims that Cyberfrog creator Uncle E, Ethan Van Sciver, was, quote, radicalizing incels. I tell you what, Marvel and IDW cover artist Tess Fowler has accused the story writer John Delarose of being a, quote, denying sympathizer. Yes, indeed. Let's see, it goes on. It says, the piece, which drew Fowler's ire, was published on June 4th and headline Dungeons and Dragons artist Tess Fowler blames Uncle E for, quote, endlessly driving hate at Amber Heard. I think that was, Bear shouldn't comment. I think that was more, was it Tug or Yellow Flash? I forget who had the big thing for months and months and months. Anyways, Bear will go on. Saw JDA bring public attention to not only to her aforementioned accusation that Uncle E was radicalizing incels, but that he was transitively responsible for, quote, endlessly driving hate at Amber Heard, the poor lady, through her recent losing legal battle with ex-husband Johnny Depp. Yes, indeed. Yes. Oops, gosh darn it. Hold on one second, people. Messed up here on Beer. Gosh dang it. There we go. There we go. The piece which drew Fowler's ire, as published on June 4th. Oh, I already read that. Sorry, people. This is who radicalizing incel. Well, actually, Beer has it right here. Hold on just 1 second. Let me do it with the old OBS here. There we go. Let me do the thing with the thing. All right, here we go. She says, let's see. This is who radicalizing incels right here. Wrote Fowler on June 2nd in reference to Van Sciver, as evidenced by JDA in his article. You want to know the source? She asks. You want to know who's preying out there, preying on out-of-work comic book pros and driving the trolls into your social media mentions? This guy, he's worse than AJ. We'll just say AJ out there. All you have to do is look at what he posts. Oh my goodness. Well, and she shows some examples right there. In the tweet cited by Fowler, Van Sciver can be seen speaking in opposition of abortion, celebrating Kyle Rittenhouse's efforts to hold the media to task for their libel and defamation of his character, and asserting that male feminists are, quote, who don't understand that when a woman loves and respects you, she wants to take care of you. Yes, indeed. And also probably make a sandwich. Let's see. It goes on here. Let me find it here. 1 second. Beer actually spent the time and did all the tweets here. I hope you people enjoy that. However you might feel about Heard or Depp, it was one of this guy's weird, obsessive devotees who referenced in the trial for endlessly driving hate. And Amber Online, she added, ostensibly making reference to YouTuber. Yeah, that's right, that umbrella guy. Quote, let's see, the sheer volume of their hate-filled lies is overwhelming to deal with. Quote, I speak from experience. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Let's see. It goes on. It says, she concludes, know the source, know what and who you're dealing with so that you aren't blindsided. It's best not to engage them. Block their followers. And stay safe. Yes, indeed. Stay safe out there, people. Mask up. Quadruple vax. Yes, Beer is making mention of this. Needs to go on here. Faced with pushbacks to her claim, Fowler took to Twitter on June 7th to extrapolate her frustration with being criticized into a general swing at the Comicsgate movement, writing, let me find it here, quote, a denying sympathizer who worships EVS wrote an article about me for a hate site. They're talking about bounding into comics here, causing vile tweets about murdering vulnerable groups of people to show up in my mentions. But sure, your little comic book group isn't a hate group. Nope, not at all, she says. Very nice. I'm sure this is a very nice lady. All right, moving on. Beer shouldn't comment until the very end here. Quote, after cancer, nothing scares me, but I'd really like those of you who still straddle the fence about associating with CG people or CG adjacent people. We'll get to that in a moment. To rethink your waffling. Well, Bear loves his waffles. And also pancakes, too. It is a hate group, period. It should be a comma there. It's a hate group, comma, period. Yes, indeed. Well, what do you expect from an artist out there? What do you expect? In support of her accusation against Della Rose, Fowler provided screenshots of a June 7th Twitter thread. Let me find it here. Where, in response to a storied fantasy and sci-fi author Larry Corrina's announcement that he would be appearing on Uncle E's live stream that night, a Twitter user, the Vickyverse, asked, she's been around, anyways, quote, so has Ethan's good friend JDA always been a denier, or is that a new thing? Oops, did I get the wrong one here? Oh, there it is. I apologize. Let me get it here. 1 second. There we go. It was down below there. Bear is not the expert here in the Twitters. In the Twitters here. Let's see. And there was the previous one there. So yeah, this lady is just butting in here. Thank goodness. And let's see, it says or she rather drew a response of, let me see if I can find it. That's a weird thing to call refusing to date you, from Van Skyver himself. Let's see, the Vicky-verse replied with 2 clips of the alleged anti-Semitism on the part of Della Rose. Yes, indeed. In the first, during a live stream discussion between himself and writer Jay Ishnofini and his attorney Peter Bradley, Ella Rose can be heard watching a separate live stream by Comicsgate affiliated creator Matt Barr. Matt Barr. Not very familiar with Matt Barr. In his mocking of his assertion, pardon me here, that, quote, millions of Jews, unquote, were killed in the Holocaust, and, quote, it was probably more like 300,000, unquote. Let me see if I've got that here. I want to make sure if I've got that there. Oh, nope, not that one. 1 second here. Let's see, and it goes on. It says the clip shared by the Vicky-verse then cuts in with a text card that reads 485,000 Jews were killed at the Belaz camp alone. In the second, responding to a tweet from Barr, in which he responded, the number is 6 million, not, quote, more like 300,000. Seek help, he says. John Della Rose fired back, I'm sorry. 300,000 was just an estimate I made yesterday. I just want to say sorry to all the 6 billion Jews out there. Let me show you that. Let me show you that instead of just talking about it here. Let's see. Where was I here? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The 300,000 was just an estimate I made yesterday. I want to say sorry to all the 6 billion Jews that were killed because if that's a bad underestimate, I'm going to overestimate it to be safe. But anyways, I feel bad for the 6 billion Jews that were likely killed just to be safe on this one, JDA says. Another title card that appears noting that JDA privated both his relevant live streams. Viewing the clip himself, Van Skyver replied, let me get it here. Let's see, I think it was... There we go. Somewhere between 5.1 million and 5.95 million Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. The exact figure cannot be known. People round off their estimate to 6 million, or at 6 million, rather. Underestimating isn't funny, and JDA should know better, Uncle E says. Van Skyver's response in turn drew one from JDA out there who said, I sometimes get in trouble for edgy jokes. Sometimes, some like my sense of humor, rather, and some don't. I apologize, Ethan, and I will do better. I love the Jews, apparently. Let's see, and Uncle E responded back, and he says, Shalom? Jokes are joke, but that video that Vicky is sharing and her assertion that you are a or very much like one will cost you opportunities and money. Anti-Semitism has no place in Comicsgate. I'm afraid I cannot promote you and earn you at least $70,000. I'm laughing at the very end part there. I thought that was kind of an interesting one there. Let's see, it goes on here. Let me find it here. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me find it here. There we go. The conversation was then joined by another Twitter user there, who opined to Uncle E, if everyone just blocked her, rather, she wouldn't be a thing. I think that pretty much says a lot about Twitter out there. Quote, your sister just drew a distinct... I don't know if he's talking to this Twitter person or not there, but your sister just drew a distinction between, quote, anti-Semitic, rather, Holocaust denier and a said Van Skyver. I haven't had my coffee yet. She also thinks that I'm trying to give myself wiggle room to socialize with JDA, rather than warning her and her idiot friends of another defamation suit out there. And she goes on, I don't care if you socialize with JDA. I don't care if you promote JDA. You want to, you can tell this isn't a writer. I apologize out there. Then you, and then back to I. You want to accept Holocaust deniers who call Jews, including your kids, quote, evil, into your movement. Feel free. I'm just going to point it out. Though, yes indeed. So there you go. You're not going to do anything about it. Just pointing it out. You have to be the stupidest woman on the face of the earth. Concluded Uncle E. Let's see. It goes on. She just responds here. Let's see. He fake scolds his friend, saying he can't deny the Holocaust in public because he'll lose money, and then insults the women who told him. His followers agree. Comicsgate is a hat group, she affirmed. I don't know. Well, anyways, I will continue here. Informed of this article's upcoming authoring and publication through internal and official Bounding Into Comics channels, JDA offered the preemptive comment. These comic book pros are frustrated that a Comicsgate creator, I'm not sure if he's a Comicsgate creator, is crushing it on Kickstarter. Comicsgate doesn't go onto Kickstarter. More or less. We aren't supposed to be able to compete on the platform, and my book is resonating so well with general readers, is throwing them into a panic, says JDA, whose current sci-fi thriller graphic novel, Overmind, is currently open for crowdfunding on Kickstarter. Once again, Kickstarter. It shows CG can go anywhere and win. So there you go. There is his comic. I don't know why she appears like on the right hand side in one panel and on the left hand side in the. It's just, I don't know. It's confusing. Anyways, that's just Bear's thoughts. What do you make of the accusations against JDA? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below, or right here on Bear's channel, where it should be, people. Where it should be. Well, let me go back. Let's go back and kind of, don't want to kind of relitigate a lot of this stuff there, but I tell you, very briefly, for some of the people out there that might not know, this whole JDA situation there came in kind of very early in on Comicsgate, kind of starting it up, very kind of just getting its legs and everything. JDA kind of came in and was doing his thing. They also had, who was it? I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Something Day. It started with a V. I forget like Vox Day or something like that. I forget exactly. Anyways, they were trying to co-opt a little bit of Comicsgate. Had some really kind of far out there ideas out there. Bear doesn't want to label anything on JDA there, but yeah, I tell you what, I suppose one of these sort of prouder moments in Comicsgate was when basically that sort of people that were kind of doing these sort of, how would you describe it? I think he kind of described it himself as sort of ethnocentric or essentially your own tribe, essentially there. So basically wasn't really meshing with the whole Comicsgate thing. So they more or less, I don't know if the way to describe it would be pushed out or basically kind of left on their own, but basically kind of left the movement there themselves. So they kind of went out, and apparently JDA is trying to get back in with good graces, apparently. I don't know, haven't really followed JDA that much, but let Bear just kind of talk about the sort of overview, I suppose, kind of her comment here. What was her name? Miss Fowler out there. Let Bear just kind of talk about it from his own experience here. Basically, number one, being a bear, I tell you what, it's being hard to being accepted pretty much anywhere there's people. Usually they want to get rid of you, shoo you out of the trash can, as it were, all that sort of stuff. So, just starting off right away, Comicsgate, in the sort of general sense out there, has been nothing but accepting and open and friendly, any way that you would want to describe it, to Bear himself here. That being number one. Number two, actually, being a bear out here, might not know that much about comics. Bear doesn't come from a sort of a very full knowledge base about comics out there. Who was the third Robin out there in issue 523? I'm sorry, Beer just doesn't know that sort of stuff there. So when he sort of got into it, it was mainly Comicsgate sort of stuff. But I tell you what, one of the sort of trepidations about Bear trying to do his own channel here. Bear doesn't want to get out, oh, let me do a show for people and all that sort of. Bear is very much comfortable being in the woods out there, but I tell you what, doing the show is great and everything. But for somebody that is, or some Bear that is not that knowledgeable about comics and everything, Bear kind of had the sort of association of the Comicsgate, or comics, what was his name? A comic book guy from The Simpsons there, worst YouTube ever out there, that sort of deal. So that's kind of what Bear was kind of complete opposite. People have been nothing but receptive and nice and hopefully laughing along with Bear out there and enjoying some of that stuff. P-Money corrects Bear and says Tim Drake was the Robin. Well, there you go. Pretty much everybody except for P-Money out there has been very much receptive to Bear and very enjoyment out there. So when she says CG is a hatch group out there, at least from Bear's experience, not so much at all there. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about a little bit about all of these haters out there in comics, and let's just see where we can find the hate at there. So let's go ahead and get right on into one of our favorite things here. Let me find it. 1 second, people. One of these days. I tell you what, people, one of these days we will do a professional show. It won't be today, though, unfortunately. All right, let's go ahead and get right on into some of the, oh, gosh darn it. Sorry, people. It's supposed to be a dramatic transition, and it just didn't work. Let's see. P-Money says, hello, I am here now. You can all relax. There we go. Let's see. He says, I just wanted to answer your comic trivia before any other comic nerds could. So there you go. Oh, once again, I tell you what, very, very welcoming for Bear into the Comicsgate community there. So I suppose unless you're trying to metaphorically poke the bear of the Comicsgate world out there, unless you're really trying to sort of aggravate people out there, I think pretty much everybody in Comicsgate is going to be kind of welcoming with pretty much open arms for you out there. Unless you're a crazy loon of some kind. Alright, so let's deal with one of the haters out there. Oh, one of the haters indeed. Talking about Clint Stoker out there. Clint Stoker, again, Comicsgate isn't just Ethan Van Sciver. It's not just John Malin or any of the other big names out there. We've got some other folks out there that are just trying their luck, trying it out there, hoping that it works. They don't have any backing by huge conglomerate corporations. They're just doing it themselves, much like Clint Stoker out there. He's doing his Dracula book. He has 300 backers. Now, for him, that's a really great deal compared to somebody like EVS. It's a drop in the bucket. But you know what? He's got 300 people that want to back his Dracula book. So, for being a independent, pretty much we all love Clint out there, but pretty much a no-name out there, he's doing really, and not just in this book, but on the books that he's had previously. All right, he says, we hit our 300 backer stretch goal. Congratulations. Thank you so much for everyone who supported the book. Starting out with hate right there. I am so thankful that we are making Dracula a reality. Another hate-filled speech there. As promised, the first 300 backers will receive an additional trading card. I tell you what, the hate is just oozing out of the fingertips. The next stretch goal, a Dracula sticker at 18K. So there you go. Very cool. Very much looking forward to Clint's book. I think he had it, I'm not sure if it's already printed or if he's going to be turning around and printing it here pretty quickly there. So very cool. Very much looking forward to his book out there. Yes, indeed. All right, let's go on. Got another. Oh, the original Hat group out there. The original Hatter. The original Hatter. The original. We'll just go with it. One of the original Hatters out there. We're talking about your boy Zach. That's right. Richard C. Myers out there. He's got another book coming out with Narzak. Yes, indeed. Oh, okay. Let's see. P Money says, since Clint is doing public domain stories, now that Winnie the Pooh is public domain, Clint should do a Winnie the Dracula comic. Actually, there was I tell you what, people, there is more stories that Bear throws away than he kind of keeps. I'm trying to remember. Did Bear do this story? There was a Winnie the Pooh horror movie that's coming out. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like, oh God, what was the name of it? Like Winnie the Gore, Winnie Horror, or something like that. Yeah, they actually have it's not Winnie the Pooh. There's like a murderer out there and he just kind of puts on the Winnie the Pooh mask or something like that and kills a bunch of people in a movie, in the movie there. So there's actually already been a Winnie the Pooh public domain movie made out there. Yes, indeed. But I do back that. I would say, if not a Winnie the Pooh Dracula comic book, Bear is still waiting on his, from Gary Shipman out there. The story of Bear, a very, let's see, who was it that was trying to get that? Somebody was demanding that Gary do a story of Bear out there. So we're still waiting on that. But hopefully, maybe Clint might do it. Maybe Clint. Who knows? It is a very great story that needs to be told. All right, enough of that. Let's get into it here. He says, hi, everyone. Hi. All backers, including international backers, should have received their copies of Is This You? By now, if not, let me know. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I hope everybody got their book. Pretty good out there. There we go. If it's not called Winnie the Gore, I will try and look that up for you, P Money. It's like a horror movie with Winnie the Pooh in there. Anyhow, Narwhal just sent me the first 2 pages of our next Narzak joint, which is tentatively titled, help me out here, people, Gigant? Gigant? I think it's Gigant or Gigant. Either way, it's about a young soldier going to kill a giant who's protecting a vital pass in the mountains. The story of David versus Goliath with the tone of 300, or Troy, and the wacky style you've become accustomed to with previous Narzak books. Yes, indeed, all the hate, all of the just vile hate, stirring up the incels out there. A Gigant or Gigant, whatever, will be available as an add-on for Jawbreakers Forever. I'm sorry, P-Money. Which launches on July 4th. Thanks, Richard. Well, hopefully P-Money got his Jawbreakers book out there. Hopefully P-Money will get his Jawbreakers book before they launch the next book. I'm not sure if July 4th would be a good day to launch it on there. Maybe on the 1st of the month. Everybody's out enjoying the fireworks and everything on the 4th, so might not be a great day to launch, but there you go. And actually, he's got, let me find it here. Actually, some nice, of course, artwork. It always, it's subjective of Narwhal's art out there. Some people might say, it's horrible. Actually, he's actually getting a lot better with his artwork. I hope it's actually colored this time because, Narwhal does need to, he does really good job with his coloring, but yeah, I think instead of just the fast pace with the books, go ahead and get them colored. It's fine. We can wait another month or 2, whatever the case may be there. But yeah, very good. Very good. Of course, being a hate group, we have no colors in there. Yes, indeed. I tell you what. All right, well, going on to our next hate-filled campaign out there. We were talking about, I tell you what, a long time hater out there. One of the longest time haters out there. Of course, we're talking about Aaron Lepresti out there. The awesome Aaron. Awesome, Aaron out there. Wraith of God printing update. Yes, indeed. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Let's all take a moment for P-Money here. Man, still waiting for my jawbreakers does make it tough to decide to get the next one. I'm so sorry, P-Money. We do need a underground railroad for not only comics but apparently firearms into Canada there. Yes, indeed. A Wraith of God, a printing update from awesome Aaron out there. Hi, everyone. Hi, Aaron out there. Let me grab a drink. There we go. I just got off the phone with the printer today. By the way, Aaron, please, the bolding of just random words out there, it's terrible. Just stop, man. Just stop. There was a corrupt file in the story. There we go. We finally found him, Mendoza. We're gonna get him this time. Corrupt file in the story that luckily only affected, one page. The book is printed, but that one page needs to be reprinted. Quality or death. Well, Bear sends his condolences to the Lopresti family out there. We do apologize. The one page, it just did him in, I tell you. Excuse me. So this little hiccup will add 2 weeks onto, hashtag 2 weeks onto the production time. But I should still get all of the Wraith of God graphic novels bound and in my hands this month, so we can begin fulfillment. I appreciate everyone's patience, as many of us indie creators have had to endure some kind of printing delay. Bear was talking about that months ago, due to either paper shortages, or just plain job backlogs. My team is working as fast as possible in the current climate to get the book finished and shipped out. In the interim, I've been working on the stories for the next campaign. Let's see, I think I've got it here. Nope. There we go. A Wraith of God, Blood Hunters. I will preview that, some of that shortly. Let's see. Thank you all for your continued support of this exciting campaign. Said the hate-filled, just filled of hate, Aaron Lopresti out there. Yes, indeed. I kid, Aaron. He's not filled of hate there. Not filled of hate at all. I tell you what, for being such a sort of stirring up the incels out there, Aaron Lopresti is doing a great job of keeping everybody up to. If anything was going to stir up the incels, it would be a 2-week delay on the Wraith of God printing. But I tell you what, Aaron keeps everybody up to date and informed out there. So, luckily, hopefully, this one time the incels, they just hold off on their evil hate out there. Yes, indeed. All right, so we've got more out there in the hate-filled world out there, including a. Oops, that's not the right one. 1 second here, people. 1 second here. Let me find it. Where did it go? Oh my goodness. There it goes. Saved once again. Good old OBS. Alright, let me get to it here because there is actually a USAssassin versus Graveyard Shift Ultimate Edition. Actually, Bear got this book a little while back. A very good book there, but actually they've got the Ultimate Edition now. Available in 2 different formats. You can get a hardbound edition with a cover by legendary G.I. Joe artist Ron Wagner. Let me find that here. And there we go. Or the softbound edition with a cover by the great Eric Nieltowski. Very cool. Actually, I'm trying to decide which one is the better. Let me figure out. Oops, wrong one. Gosh, dang it. There we go. Oh, BS. I tell you. There we go. There we go. Get that out. There you go. So you've got, let's see, Eric Nieltowski right there, and of course, you've got Ron Wagner on the other one there. That would be the hardcover. Let's see, it goes on. The Ultimate Edition is 80 pages, holy cow, and contains the 10-page The Mercenary story, starring pro wrestling star Flip Gordon. plus an all-star art gallery featuring the good Mike McMahon, Matt Martin, Eric Weathers, Eric Letters too much, Chris Graves, Joe Sontag, and more. Pre-order your copy today at Indiegogo. Very cool. Very cool. And of course, actually, he sent out a second one here. Let me get to it here because not only do that, you also get a great, what he calls a sketch, but actually it is. Let me find it here. It is actually 11 by 17 commission quality, quote unquote, sketches for only people. Listen to me right now. For only $75 with free shipping. I tell you what, in Joe Biden's America, you can't pass that up, people. Free shipping in the U.S., I should say. Sorry, P-Money. In the new USA Assassin vs. Graveyard Shift Ultimate Edition campaign, hurry though, because only 17 spots remain on Mike's insane deal. I would say insane. See below, or see right there, for the level of quality Mike is offering in these sketches, quote unquote sketches. 11 by 17. Holy cow. Bear can relate. Bear actually got some work there from the good Mike out there, Mike McMahon. So very good, very cool. I would recommend that to anybody, at least in the U.S. There, get some free shipping there. Very cool. I tell you what, you wouldn't offer that sort of deal unless you were just filled with hate out there and wanting to stir up the incels. Yes, indeed. Let's see. P-Money says, I will say USA Assassin and Graveyard Shifts were two books that exceeded my expectations. Yes, indeed. Well, what would happen when they go up together? I tell you what, you'll have to find out in the unless you got to Toretti. But I tell you what, very good book. It's been a while since Bear read it. Actually, the one that Barry really liked was the Bazooka Dog story. That was kind of an ash can, but very cool. One of the great characters of all time out there. A Bazooka Dog. Let's see. Does it show it? No, it doesn't show a Bazooka Dog in there. But very actually, I think. Hold on one second. I think he was in. Yeah, there we go. He's there off to the left of the screen there, kind of just jumping in there with his bazooka pack there. Very cool. Very cool indeed. All right, let me get right back to it here, people, because let me find it here. One of these days, people, we will do a professional show. But actually, we've got so much stuff out here, people. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, not that one. Not that one. We actually have. I tell you what, people, when Bear tries to look up some news story, he tries to find some sort of theme that goes through everything, kind of something that ties it all together just a little bit there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, let's find out. Let's find out together if this will work. All right, let me find it here. There we go. Do the thing. Oh, with the thing, and then you do the other thing as well. There we go. Our first story here comes from a site called SOF Rep or Soft Rep. How do you pronounce it there? What a great name, I tell you what. Guy McCardle out there. Doggone, the Russian Special Forces dog defects to Ukraine. Yes, indeed. By the way, people, Bear, I tell you what, not Bear's monkey, not Bear's circus out there we all enjoy our Russian bots out there, and including the Ukrainian bots as well. So we're not picking sides. It's just kind of a interesting story here. Yes, indeed. All right, let me get to it here. The military working dogs are MWDs, not to be confused with WMDs. That would be a totally different thing. Can be a soldier's best friend. They fought side by side with humans since ancient times. Today, after careful selection and exhaustive training, they can still perform all kinds of skills, including tracking, explosive detection, patrol, search and rescue, and attack roles. The troops see the dogs as fellow warriors deserving of the same care and attention as their human counterparts. Yes, indeed. As special operations canines, as one might imagine, are kept in special operations kennels, and their procurement, training method, and full abilities are classified. Suffice it to say, these are some pretty amazing animals. Yes, indeed, Bear can attest to that, having written about that. There you go. There's a good boy right there getting a drink. Yes, indeed. Was the dog given immigration papers? Well, we'll find out. By now, we've all heard stories about how logistics suck for Russian soldiers in Ukraine, and oftentimes they can barely get enough food and water to sustain themselves. When it comes down to a survival situation, they choose to feed themselves first, but one of their Russian dogs, named Max, was left to starve. I guess they liked him too much to just eat him. Well, they're not Chinese. They're not Chinese troops. They're Russian troops. To Miss Fowler out there. Yes, indeed. 3-year-old Belgian Malinois Max was found starving and near dead in the Ukrainian woods. He had been surviving on scraps of food and garbage, much like Bear, and when he was found, he was wearing a Russian military collar. No one could understand how such a beautiful dog could just be left behind to die. Not just the dogs, the people, too. The soldiers of the, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, their National Guards, wrote on their official Facebook page, from now on, the National Guards have a trophy dog with the nickname Max. The shepherd belonged to the occupiers of the, who captured one of the villages of the, for crying out loud, of the Nikolaev region. From now on, Max will serve on the right side and defend Ukrainsky. Yes, indeed. Yes, that's a good boy. Look at that good boy. Yes, indeed. Oh, isn't he cute? Let's see. My wife says that the dog is a good boy, the goodest of the, I'm assuming, good boys. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Very good. Very good. And he says, thank you. Thank you. The canine operator is currently learning some new commands in Ukrainian and is being trained to sniff out explosives. He's working with the likes of a Jack Russell Terrier and fellow military working dog patron, who was awarded the Ukrainian Medal of Honor after saving the lives of hundreds after detecting explosives. Yes, indeed. One of the trainers told reporters the main tasks are to check citizens on checkpoints, search for saboteurs, but Max will be trained to find people, not just bombs. He added that Melanonis has a very good, almost perfect memory. We here at SOF Rep wish Max all of the best of luck with his new family. Yes, indeed. Oh, isn't that sweet? A heartwarming good news story out there. Heartwarming. Heartwarming indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, well, we actually move on. We move on to our kind of a theme here. We actually talked about a little bit about this a couple weeks back. I believe it was California. They were talking about, is a fish a bee or is a bee a fish? Whichever. Apparently it was. And lawyers out there, I tell you what, the beclowning of your profession continues at pace. Yes, it does. So we're going over to the New York Post. Priscilla de Gregory, over at the New York side of things across the country. Happy the elephant is not a person. New York's highest, I can't believe it made it that far, highest court rules. Yes, indeed. New York's highest court has ruled that Happy the elephant is not a person. Wow. As it tossed a lawsuit seeking to free the animal from the Bronx Zoo. Why would you put a zoo in the Bronx, I tell you? The 5 to-dos, there were 2 people out there that said, yes, the elephant is a person. Even bears know that. Likely marks the end of the marks the end of the line for an animal rights group that has since at least 2018 has been seeking to spring the 50-year-old Asian elephant through habeas corpus, a legal principle used for challenging wrongful imprisonment. Well, maybe we should go to the Capitol and talk about some of the prisoners there. But the State Court of Appeals on Monday rejected that argument, finding habeas corpus has no application to Happy, a non-human mammal, who is not a person subjected to legal detention. While no one disputes that elephants are intelligent beings deserving of proper care and compassion, the court below properly granted the motion to dismiss the petition. Yes, indeed. Still, two of the 7-judge panel disagreed, finding that Happy should have the right to petition for her freedom. Yes, indeed. I tell you what, if you're a lawyer for Happy, you're getting paid in peanuts. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. There he is. There he is. We should recognize Happy's right to petition for her liberty, not just because she's a wild animal, but not really, she's in a zoo, who is not meant to be caged and displayed, but because the rights we confer on others define who we are as a society. Yes, indeed. The feels judge. The feels. Similarly, another judge wrote in her dissenting opinion, the law has a mechanism to challenge this inherently harmful confinement, and Happy should not be denied the opportunity to pursue and obtain appropriate relief by writ of habeas corpus. The Non-Human Rights Project has argued that Happy, an intelligent creature, should live free from captivity over 40 years cooped up in the zoo and more than 10 years living alone. Oh, the poor guy. The poor guy. Well, no, he's not alone. There's another one right there. Another one right there, I tell you what. But the case had been struck down by lower courts, which had ruled that Happy is an elephant and not a human, and therefore habeas corpus rights can't be applied to her. We applaud the powerful dissents by the honorable quote-unquote judges, which we see as a tremendous victory in a national and global struggle for non-human animal rights, which we've only just begun. Well, we hope, Bear hopes, that we can get right on that. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. P1A says, high inflation, high gas, war in Ukraine, but whether an elephant is a person, where the courts want to focus their efforts. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So anyways, and also is a fish a bee? Or I should say, is a bee a fish? Yes, indeed. So there's Happy. Not looking so happy, but that's right. That's nothing that some peanuts and why the heck you're in the Bronx, for crying out loud. I tell you what, people. Alright, moving on. The New York Post, yet again, Brittany Miller. Horse named Sugar goes viral for pretending to be asleep to avoid work. Haven't we all? Haven't we all, people? The horse sometimes says nay to working. Yes, indeed. A mare named Sugar, Sugar, Happy, all sorts of crazy names. Going viral for pretending to be asleep when she doesn't feel like working. In the original tweet by user Jim Rose, a photo shows Sugar resting on her side in the grass as if taking a snooze, while the text reads, meet Sugar. She doesn't like to be ridden. If Sugar is approached with a saddle, she lies down and pretends to be asleep. Sugar refuses to open her eyes until the riders leave. Many have evidently found their spirit animal in Sugar, with the tweet so far racking up 443,000 likes and nearly 40,000 retweets. Responses varied, with some users praising Sugar. One says, that's the horse's version of saying your piece and walking away. Yes, indeed. Very cool. He's asleep. She's asleep. It's a birthing horse. Beer, have you ever wanted to live in a zoo? Heck no. Why would... No. I tell you what, people. Why? Anyways, what a silly question. Alright, moving on. All the way into Canada. That's right. It's the CTV News out of Vancouver. A single beaver caused a mass internet cell service outages in northern BC. You go, beaver. You go. That's right. Officials had now identified a beaver as the cause of a June 7th outage, which left many residents in northwestern British Columbia without internet, landline, and cellular service for more than 8 hours. And the beaver gnawed its way through an aspen tree, which then fell on both BC Hydro lines and a for crying out loud, people. A fiber optic cable. This is why Bear can never go to Britain over there. They just don't speak English. I tell you what. A fiber optic cable line struck along the BC Hydro poles between Topley and Houston. We all know where Topley and Houston are. Resulting in a power outage affecting just 21 customers. But the fiber optic damage affected customers in all these different places there that we all know of. City West, the utilities company owned by the city of Prince Rupert, also had its customers affected because it uses the fiber optics line. I tell you what, I can't. I just can't. I can't go anymore. I can't go anymore. I tell you what. There's the beaver. There's the beaver that caused it. Good for you, beaver. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. You just can't look a beaver in the mouth. P Money says, I gotta say to my wife, Canadian news made Bear's channel. Woohoo! Actually, oh shoot, I don't have. Oh, for crying out loud, I should have brought it up. Bear actually had another story there. It was another fake Indian story there in Ottawa, I think, somewhere right around there. Anyways, very interesting. I had it the other time. P Money didn't show up. It just gets lost there. Yes, indeed. All right, so that is our sort of a wrap up of animal stories out there. But we're not finished. Not finished just yet here. Because we've actually got vacation news for you good people. Talking from a Deadline here, Tom Tapp. Disney offers global travel package to all 12 of its parks for the low price of $110,000. That would be per person. Per person, by the way. As some fans complain about rising ticket prices at its theme parks, Disney is offering what it calls a bucket list adventure for 75 well-heeled guests. Yes, indeed. Priced at about $110,000. Actually, it's only $109,995 with taxes and destination fee. I'm sure that's another $40,000-$50,000. The travel package is called Disney Parks Around the World, a private jet adventure. Not looking at the carbon footprint on that one. The package price is per person and based on double occupancy, which means if you're in for about $220,000 unless you pay a single supplement fee for the low price of only $10,995. And there are only 75 spots, people. The 24-day tour includes private jet travel to all 12 of the company's parks around the world, plus stops at other man-made wonders, such as the Taj Mahal, the Pyramids of Giza, and the Eiffel. They're all at Epcot. What do you need to go there for? It also includes a tour of the Lucasfilm campus. That actually looks pretty cool. I wish they would offer. I wish they would offer just that. That would be pretty cool. Maybe they do. I don't know. In the Walt Disney Studios, another one. Very cool. That would be a kind of neat one. Dates for the jaunt are July 9th and through August 1st, rather, 2023, so next year. And booking begins next week. I'll get right to it, people. Airfare to and from departure and return cities, holy cow, is not included in the cost. Let's see. Throughout the trip, guests will be attended to by 3 adventure guides, a Disney VIP, Imagineers, cultural experts, and other surprise guests. The private jet is a VIP configured Boeing 757, operated by Iceland Air, with long-range capabilities that allow for direct flights to maximize guest time in each destination. The crew will include a chef, 3 dedicated staff members, and a physician. Hopefully also a pilot as well, at least one. I hope there's at least one pilot in there. The package price includes most meals. Not all of them, but just most of them. That's all right. A minimum guest age is 12, but the suggested age is 14. There's no discount for kids. You would figure if you're going to go to the Disney parks around the world that you might want to bring the kids along with you if you're spending all that money. This just looks like it's like a bunch of sad adults that are going. Have you ever seen all the adults at Disney World? They don't have any kids or anything like that. They're just kind of reliving their childhood or whatever. It's kind of weird, kind of sad too, kind of sad. The accommodations are at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, the Summit Skywalker Ranch, that looks pretty cool, the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, hopefully the city isn't locked down at that point, the Hong Kong Disneyland Hotel, same thing, the Oberoi, whatever. Let's see, in Agara, the Marriott Mina House in Cairo, the Disney's Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel, in Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Ah, yes. The booking schedule breakdown is below, and here's a link to the daily itinerary for those eager to commit. So get on it, people. If you've had previous adventures, let's see, you're a Golden Oak member, and then maybe at the very end, maybe you might be able to get to go around the world with Disney for the low price of only, well, let's add it up here. If you're just one person here, it's $110,000 plus another $11,000 there. So what would that be? $121,000 minus airfare and some meals there. So it's a pretty penny out there. A pretty penny. Oh, hey, Jeff. Good to see you here. Epcot does have beer stands. Do they? Yeah, I don't know if they still do or not. I know Busch Gardens does, but I don't know why they would go around the world when you literally have Epcot right there. That's crazy. It's crazy. Darn, I asked my wife if we had just a small amount of $110,000 lying around somewhere. Maybe just check the couch cushions out there. There might be some there. Yes, indeed. All right. Actually, I'm not going to read the entire thing. I just thought this was one of these things where you don't even need to read the entire headline, or you don't need to read the story. The headline just does it for you here. Beer will just bring it up without comment. Without comment. Without comment at all. How to Murder Your Husband author Nancy Crampton Brophy gets life in prison for killing husband. Who would have thought? A lovely lady there. A lovely lady. It doesn't look like she could harm a fly. It doesn't look like she could. Yeah, anyways, I think just the headline itself works for itself there. All right, I tell you what, people. You do come here for the hate-related Comicsgate stuff. You might also come here for some news, but we know what you really come here for. That's right, people. We're talking about cryptocurrency there. It has completely tanked. Beer, could go on his I Told You So tour. He's biting his tongue out there. Completely biting his tongue there. But cryptocurrency plunges as crypto quote-unquote bank Celsius suspends withdrawals. Well, I tell you what, if you put your money in the bank and they don't allow you to withdraw your money, that might be a bad thing. Might be a bad thing. P-Money asked, did her husband really not see any warning signs? By the way, it's this, once again, the New York Post there. So I'll let you, if you want to read it, there he is. There's the husband there. I didn't want to read the whole thing. I just thought it was pretty funny. Sometimes the title just speaks for itself there. All right, once again, speaking of titles speaking for themselves there, major cryptocurrency suffered big losses Monday. As I write this, Bitcoin is down. When was this? This was Monday. Down 14% over the last 24 hours, while Ether is down just a minor 16%. Other major cryptocurrencies, including Solana, Dogecoin is not a major cryptocurrency. For crying out loud, and Litecoin are also down by double digits. The cryptocurrency crash is part of a broader market sell-off. The S&P 500 stock market index fell almost 4% on Monday, amid fears of a faster interest rate hikes from the Fed. We got that today. Oh boy. High interest rates put downward pressure on all assets, including stocks and crypto. I was told, I was promised, people. You could take it to the quote-unquote bank here. The cryptocurrency was a hedge against inflation. What's up with that? Huh? What's up with that? Another big factor that may have spooked cryptocurrency traders was the Monday announcement by crypto leader Celsius that it was suspending withdrawals. The company said that it was the result of, quote, extreme market conditions. Yeah, like when you run out of other people's money. Other people's money. What is Celsius? Celsius is effectively an unregulated cryptocurrency bank. There you go. Customers can deposit cryptocurrencies with Celsius and then borrow dollars against those holdings. Customers can also earn interest on cryptocurrency deposits, with the company website advertising interest rates as high as 18%. And if you believe that, Bear has a Bitcoin volcano to sell you. That number is far more than Americans can earn from conventional banks. Celsius says that it has 1.7 million customers. Well, they had, H-A-D, had. Now they just have a whole bunch of money from a bunch of suckers. anyways. Jeff says, hopefully this drop-off allows me to convert some of my ETH into Mines coins so I can run ads on Mines. There you go. Well, once again, Bear, it isn't a sort of, I guess there is a little bit of I told you so sort of stuff to it. Bear doesn't want anybody to lose money on any of their investments out there. It's kind of a broader thing than just cryptocurrencies out there. But I tell you what, if you listen to Bear, you could have topped off at the market there. Probably December maybe? November, December time frame there. It would have done fine. Now not so much. So the people that bought it are probably going to be holding on to all that sort of stuff. P-Money says, so my Bitcoin investments won't allow me to retire just yet. I'm sorry, P-Money. I'm sorry, but you know what? You could get yourself, sir, an NFT. A Chevy is auctioning off a Corvette NFT, and the winning bidder gets the car, too. I would say the car is worth more than the NFT. This is from The Verge and Andrew J. Hawkins out there. By the way, did I do the last one? I'm sorry, people. It was, who was this? I apologize. Ars Techna and Timothy B. Lee out there. There we go. By the way, one of the things, Bear, I didn't get to do it this time, but Bear's trying to put the links in the description there. So if you want to check it out, read along with Bear, or just check it out. You can. I didn't do it this time, but if you come back at a later date, hopefully Bear will have that there. And there you go. There's the car. Chevrolet, the last automaker to jump on the NFT bandwagon, but it's taking a slightly different approach. Great to get in it while everything's just crashing. Chevy announced plans to auction off a Corvette-themed NFT. But the winning bidder won't just get a record on the blockchain, thankfully. They'll also get the actual sports car inspired by the artwork. The NFT, which depicts a lime green Corvette Z06 blasting through the cybersunk lake. By the way, I'm sorry, I got distracted there. I don't have the don't have it up here. We actually found out what the Gran Turismo movie is going to be about. It's going to be boring. We found out it's going to be boring. How you make a boring video game about cars, I don't know, but there you go. Let's see. The Corvette Z06 blasting through a cyberpunk landscape was created by artist Nick Sulo, who goes by the X-Sulo online pseudonym. The upcoming auction pairs Sulo's NFT with a custom-painted 2023 Corvette Z06 color-matched to the art. In case you need a reminder, we can get beyond that. The winning bidder will not only get Zulo's, X-Sulo's, whatever, NFT, but also the minted green Corvette. Oh, I get it. Which will be the only car painted in that color. I think that is interesting. Corvette vows, we'll see. Corvette vows not to apply the minted green color to any other production Z06. Not only that, but the color will carry the option code RFN, which will forever associate the car with the NFT auction. And the Corvette's VIN number will be in binary because NFTs are digital, and computers use the binary, and you get This isn't a bad idea if they were using it like as a title well, maybe not a title, but the what they're talking about with the VIN number and stuff like that. So you can kind of have all the paint code and maybe all of the sort of extras and then what you paid for it and all that sort of stuff all put on the blockchain there. So you can say, okay, this Corvette, is the exact one. So, in 15, 20 years when somebody gets a Z06 and tries to color match it and everything and say, try to pass it off as the same minted green NFT, blah, blah, blah. Well, they can say, no, not only do we have the NFT here, but actually it links up with the car and yada, yada, yada. The car is legit, backed up by the NFT. We're good to go. I think that is a great idea to use NFTs for. Unfortunately, they're using it for just kind of silly stuff there. So there is the NFT. Interesting. Hey, it's a lot better than the what was it, the not Mike's stuff, but the other crypto monkeys out there. A lot better than that. Actual artwork out there. Yes, indeed. Did Mike Miller take over Bear's live stream? Nope. I kid, Mike. I tell you what. One of these days, Bear will have to propose a debate. I hate to do that when it's at the bottom here. I feel like that would be kind of cruel there. But one day, do a debate. I would love to do, because you kind of figure, it's usually the crypto side is all promote, rah 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 rah. And, the other side, is always looked at as sort of, a bunch of negative Nancy's out there. When actually, it's just trying to say, hey, take a look at this stuff, people. Don't jump in with both feet. So, anyways, the auction is being overseen by NFT Marketplace Super Rare, and will be held June 20th through the 24th. And bids will be only accepted in Ethereum. Now, I wonder. Let's just say you spend, I don't know, $1,000 in Ethereum for this. Well, it wouldn't be worth the car. $100,000 in Ethereum, and then Ethereum tanks by another 10% or something like that. Do you still get the car, or do you have to pay for it based on what the value was when you first did the bid? That would be kind of interesting there. Chevy says the proceeds will go to the Donors Choose an Education charity. The NFT auction comes at a time of, this is putting it completely interesting layer, extreme volatility in cryptocurrency. Prices are plummeting along with NFT values. Ethereum has dropped. I'm sorry, people. Man, oh man. I tried to tell you, people. 64% since April 1st. Since April 1st. Man, oh man. That's crazy. While the most lauded NFT has seen their floor price, the price for the lowest one on the market dropped more than 70%. Holy moly. Bear did not know that. In response, some cryptocurrency firms are scaling back. No kidding, they don't have any money. Coinbase announced that it was laying off 18% of its workforce. And there's also been a rise in scams? What? No way. With some buyers falling for phishing attempts to rip off their NFTs, and thanks to the decentralized nature of the blockchain and Web3, oh, we love Web3, victims are left with little recourse in such situations. That's right, code is law. But Chevy doesn't seem dissuaded by the market fluctuations. In a statement, Steve Marcos, vice president of marketing at the automaker, called the only color NFT an important stepping stone for Chevrolet into future digital initiatives for our customers. I would say just build good cars. That's all you need to do. For his part, Sulo says that he was drawn to the project by the Z06. The Chevrolet Z06 is an ambitious car that I totally vibe with. He says, I'm totally drawn to how the technology can make us feel, and I can tell the designers of the Chevrolet Z06 draw from similar inspiration. Chevy isn't the only automaker currently testing the Web3 waters. For crying out loud. Lamborghini, Hyundai, and two other companies that have recently dabbled in NFTs. And car auction service Barrett Jackson, oh my goodness, auctioned off 4 NFTs last year based on cars it sold to raise money for charity. Well, at least it's going to a good cause there. Instead of just, what was it? Where was it? 60%, 70%? I mean, just disappeared. I mean, like, okay, you got an NFT. You got an NFT up there. You spent $1 on it, and now it's worth 30 cents. I mean, I can't. I can't. I don't know, people. I don't know. Can't help you. Can't help you there. Bear tries. He can lead. He can lead people to water, but he can't make them drink. Well, he can make them drink, but it's very violent. It is very violent. All right. Well, let's go back. Go back here because let's see. P Money, let's see. This isn't one of those tricks where the Corvette turns out to be a model car, does it? No, it apparently is an actual car. That's why Bear says, actually, it's probably. The car is probably worth. Well, I don't know. I think. Well, it might be one of those things where. Like sometimes, like they talked about the Bear Jackson stuff there. Sometimes, like if you can kind of pair it up with something, like let's just say there was a usually at the Barrett Jackson they do like the VIN number model 1 or like the first car off the production line or something like that. Sometimes they'll do it where let's just say that they're selling a truck or something like that and they've got like a matching trailer, or sometimes they actually do like a car and they have like a matching motorcycle that goes along with it. So kind of along that sort of theme where they kind of have the car and the NFT that goes along with it. Again, having an NFT as a title for your car, so you can say, okay, Mr. Smith bought the car new, and then he sold it to Mrs. Jones, and then Mrs. Jones, sold it to, Mr. So-and-so, whatever. You can follow down that line of ownership for the car, and kind of, okay, well, Mr. Jones did his service intervals at this times and all this stuff, but Mrs. Smith forgot all about it, missed this interval or something like that. So I think that might be a really good way for the NFTs to go. Unfortunately, it is so speculative and so just fear of missing out sort of situation there that the prices were way crazy than their Mike likes to talk about utility. The price is way more than what the utility of the NFT would be actually useful for. So, yeah, again, it's kind of an interesting way of doing it. I think this sort of combining an NFT, maybe not an NFT, something along the blockchain with an actual physical item, I think that's a good idea. I think just the NFTs themselves are kind of a little bit of a flash in the pan there. Let's see. Did Mike Miller take over Bear's live stream? No. All this talk about lime makes me want a piece of key lime, one of Bear's favorites, key lime pie. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Jeff. But it's actually got to be with the real key limes. A lot of people just do regular limes. The key limes are actually smaller and tartar as well. Tartar. Very tartar. Hey, Cricket, Bear is reminding me my Bitcoin is down the I'm sorry, P-Money, I'm sorry. Bear ruins picnics and Bitcoin confirmed. Well, again, let's separate Bitcoin with Ethereum and all the other stuff for just a second. Bitcoin, Bear's actually kind of come around a little bit on that. Let me take a drink here. Came a little bit around on some of that stuff. I think even now with it down, the 20, 30,000, something like that, it's still worth way overpriced. But I think as a sort of, what do they call them? The Bitcoin maximalists, the people that hold on to it for long periods of time are trying to, buy it for $1 and sell it for $2 or something like that just to make a profit. If you're trying to use Bitcoin as a sort of break glass in case of emergency situation, you need to send money from one spot to another, and the middleman in between isn't going to allow you to do it, so you need to go around it using Bitcoin. A lot of people talk about, drugs or what's arms or something like that. All the sort of illegal stuff out there. There is use cases for it where it would be maybe illegal in a certain country or something like that. Let's just say you're trying to send money to, like, I don't know, Ukraine, for example, or you were trying to send money to the old Canadian truckers up there, and they shut down all the other ways of payment to do that. I think Bitcoin would be a way to send, money from one spot to another spot if you weren't worried about, how much it's going to cost. If person X is sending it to person Y and person Y desperately needs the money, who cares if you lose, $5 or $10 or you're not making money off of it or whatever. That person needs that money, and be able to get that money and be able to verify it. That is a good way to do it. It's sort of the break glass situation. It wouldn't be for I want to go down to the local supermarket and pay for my groceries in Bitcoin. That is not the way to look at. It's not a currency in that sort of sense. Kind of the better way to describe it is a way to transfer gold without having to move gold. That would probably be the best way to kind of describe Bitcoin as sort of a commodity rather than a currency. Ethereum, all that other stuff. If you got into it early, I'm sure you did great. If you're getting into it within the past 6 months, I'm sure you're pulling your hair out. So I wouldn't deal with Ethereum or any of that other stuff. Bitcoin is a sort of like when people have gold in their bank account, or if they, the safe deposit box, or they keep grandma's jewelry in a bag somewhere, just in case of emergency, something happens somewhere along the way, you can't get to the ATM or something like that. The beaver takes down the tree, and you can't get to the ATM because the fibery optic line is down. Yeah, I mean, you want it for those sorts of situations, yes. But is it worth whatever it is, $20,000, $30,000, whatever Bitcoin's worth? Probably not. Probably not. It needs to come down probably half of that for it to kind of have a sort of widespread use, not just kind of a bank-to-bank thing there. All right. Oh my goodness, I'm getting off on my crypto chat here. Let's see. I'm sure the Jeff Potts says, let me grab a drink here. Let's see. Yes, I'm sure the crypto bubble was a unique event in the global economy. Bubbles like this have never happened before. You forgot the slash X or slash S on there, Jeff. The tulip mania. The tulip mania. I wonder how the stock market is doing these days. It is very interesting where you can kind of compare the value, the fluctuations in value of, let's see, what was it? Was it Ethereum or was it Bitcoin? I can't remember which. And they compared it with the S&P 500. So every time the S&P went up, the value went up of either Ethereum or Bitcoin. Every time it went down in the stock market, the crypto went down. So yeah, the people that says, oh, it's a hedge against inflation. No, it was not. It was not. They have key lime juice you can buy. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I think part of the reason for the bubble popping has something to do with these parallel economy types crashing because of the massive rise in inflation. Oh, and Jeff Potts got to head home. Thank you, Jeff Potts. Very briefly to answer your point there. No, I think you could put a point on the map there, a point on the calendar when all of the stimulus, not just in the U.S., just around the world, all of the stimulus pumped into the economy and the rise of cryptocurrency, and then the withdrawal of all of that stimulus, and the drawdown of all the cryptocurrencies out there. I think if you had a great place to put sort of a velocity of money into crypto would be great. That would be what it would be designed for, to put a whole bunch of money in there to just kind of disappear. That would be a great way to do it. But yeah, no, I don't think it had to do with when he says parallel economy. I'm assuming the folks there at the sort of crypto parallel. We were talking about Bitcoin, so that's sort of parallel. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about there, Jeff. But no, I would probably say you could probably take it with the stimulus, everybody getting their stimulus checks, and how popular NFT was in 2020. I think there's a pretty good correlation between those two. Let's see. P-Money says, I actually appreciate your advice, Bear. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Honestly, I'm mostly kidding. I don't have that much Bitcoin. That's fine. It doesn't matter to Bear here. Let's see. I don't have that much in Bitcoin. Just enough, as you said, like a break glass kind of thing. Yeah, again, it's something there to have, and let's just say you bought it at. I'm just gonna pick a number. Let's just say you bought it at $10,000, and now it's worth $9,000 or $8,000. A lot of people say, "Well, I've lost money there." Yeah, you have, but if you really need even $4,000 of that to be sent somewhere, at least you've got that. So again, the way of speculative of the crypto thing, I think it got way out of hand. The prices just got way too high. People were fear of missing out. Hey, I got to get on this jump on this thing. We had the thing the other day. What was it? They're trying to sell virtual land, and the gas prices just shot up. Just crazy stuff where people are just trying to jump on the bandwagon and not realizing that stuff. And of course, all the scams that go with it as well. So, really, you got to know what you're doing. So, really kind of, it's kind of a conundrum there. You want to spend the time to figure out all the stuff to make a good investment, but at the same time, you see the value of the thing going up and up and up, and saying, well, I got to get it now before it goes up even more. So, kind of a conundrum there. Maybe buy, I don't know. Bear's not the expert. Please don't take his advice. Maybe buy it now while it's low, but I bet you it's going to go even lower. Hopefully it will go low enough where the actual utility in like a Ethereum actually works. You actually need computer programmers out there to actually do the stuff that you want to do on the blockchain. You can't just buy your NFT there and just hold on to it forever, because there is underlying utility behind it, but if it isn't utilized because it's so expensive, people can't experiment with it, then it'll probably, let's just take Ethereum for example. Let's just say everybody held on to Ethereum for the longest time, didn't have any utility. Well, something else came out that might do better than Ethereum. Well, Ethereum value is going to go down even more just because something else is better out there, and not a whole lot of people got to tinker with it, like a Dogecoin or something like that. So really, that's where it needs to be. People need to kind of be able to work out with what cryptocurrency could do about. Basically, it's a database. It's a very high-priced database out there that people can put art on. So that's basically kind of what you got to think of it as, and then kind of treat it as that, and not spend a whole lot of money that you can't afford or anything like that. So, all right. Well, I tell you what, people, we've been going on about Bitcoin and all the other stuff, all sorts of animal-related stuff out there, and including a JDA whole situation there. I tell you what, Anyhow, Bear is going to enjoy his. I'm sorry, P Money. I'm so sorry for P Money. His Canadian teams are not in the Stanley Cup Finals this time, but that's right. There's always next year. There is always next year, including maybe another attempt at the Tampa Bay Lightning out there. But Bear's going to enjoy Game 1 out here in just a couple of hours here. So he's got to get back into the woods and probably get some food out there as well. So he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people, grrr.